Welcome to Can We Just Talk Basirah in full form. Our audience is fully
Buzz.
Okay, so tell us a few things about you.
Okay, so basically, as you know, my name is Basirah, but all of my friends call me Buzz for short. And I'm actually a preschool educator.
Okay.
And what else about me? I'm actually someone who loves makeup,
Okay.
baking, all the
Okay.
common things. What else, right? And I love to laugh. I love to laugh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to know from you what makes you so passionate about talking about body shaming.
I think in general because to me body shaming in our era right now, it's something very evident and prominent. It's still ongoing regardless of your age, regardless of anything. I think it's still prominent, and I think it's just something that I wish to address, that I feel like people out there whom are still body shaming people like us, you know maybe you guys still want to understand, how we feel when we get body shamed, and how, like what we go through and how much it impacts us. It's not a very I would say it's not a very nice thing to do, but like I said, we cannot stop people from saying or doing what they want, you see. But maybe by voicing out to a certain point, probably people would understand slightly better.
Is there any one incident that you can highlight where somebody body shamed you, and how did you react, or what was
I think
your
there's a
experience?
lot. It's not only like one incident, it could be a lot, but I think the very prominent one was in secondary school. Okay, so basically, I've always been big sized. I've never been small. That's the thing. So, but to me, growing up in primary school, I think I don't feel it. Like none of us are still at that age to like say, oh, you're big, or you're fat. I think we are still in that point of stage whereby we are just friends with everybody, that kind of thing. But as we proceed on to secondary, that's where my whole challenge started, you see. Because when I went to this secondary school, none of my primary school friends were with me when I joined in this school. So first year was pretty tough because basically everyone was mocking me, like wherever I go, like in that school, people always say, people always make fun of me. And that whole year, I think almost 8 to 9 months throughout, I've been going to breaks alone. I went on my breaks, like recess alone, because most of my classmates boycotted me. I think for, like maybe, yeah, because she's fat, and then came out a lot of other things like, oh, she's smelly, and all this came in. So I think that's the very most prominent incident that I till date will never forget, because it was tough going on your recess breaks alone and trying to find a friend to go recess breaks with. So I think that first year in my secondary school was not an easy thing for me, I would say.
And now that
Yeah.
you are an adult, do you face the same kind of shaming?
I think right now, I do not face it with friends. Neither do I face it with, like people of my age. I do not face it with them. But I think right now it's more to the adults, to the older generation, Like to date, I still have people trying to take snapshots of me, when I walk
Why?
out.
Why?
Like, okay, one particular incident was when I was in the interchange. I was queuing up for the bus.
Okay.
Okay. And then there was this man behind me. Okay. Now, the position that he was in was reflected on the glass mirror right in front. So I was able to see what he was doing.
Okay.
So happened to be he took a shot of me,
Okay.
and I saw it. You see, I saw it on the reflection.
Okay.
So and I saw him send it to whoever, I don't know. So I was quite taken aback. I think I voiced out to that uncle. I asked him, "Hey, what
Why
are
are
you
you
trying?
taking? Why are you
Yeah,
doing
what
this?
are you doing?" And people, they just be defensive. They're like, "Oh, I didn't do anything. This and that." But the thing is, I clearly saw what he did. You
Okay.
see, yeah. So I think until now, I think I still face this, but I've I think I'm more wary right now, when I walk around, when I'm out, sometimes it's just in me. Like I just have to see what are people doing, because I'm so afraid that
Mm,
they might take a shot of me. So you see, right now it's not name calling. It's, because of the technology and all that. Now it's like taking shots,
mm.
like paparazzi everywhere. Yeah,
And
so.
what do you think that people don't know about plus size women, plus size people in general?
In general,
Misconception.
we are humans, we are still humans, it's not like we are of a different kind. You
Mm,
get what I mean? We still do the same thing that you guys do. We still go to work. We still have daily problems. We still face heartbreaks. We still face almost everything that a normal sized person face.
mhm,
So it still bugs me as to why people judge us differently, even though they say that right now it's a equality, like
mm.
people accept everyone of different kind. But I still feel there are still minority that still treats us differently.
And what the most common question that plus size people face is that why don't you eat healthier? Why don't you
Yeah.
just go and jog or exercise? Like, you can totally change your body. Like, when people say things like to you, what is, I'm sure someone in your life has said something like that to you at some point.
Girl, a lot. Not some, it's a lot.
And so what don't they know about this question? How ignorant do you think people are with this question?
Okay, I wouldn't say they are very ignorant. Like maybe it could be just like they are concerned. Okay, it could be out of concern. They're asking you. They're asking like maybe maybe you want to try eat healthily. You want to try do this. Want to try do that. But, I also have people who come and tell me, if you lose weight, you'll be so pretty. You'll be this and that. Your face
Yeah.
is there, but your body is not there. I'm like,
Ah,
serious.
ah, டேய் யாருடா அது?
Yeah, that's why. So I'm like, sometimes I'll just like suck it up. I'll just like, I have no comments, because to me it's not easy. It's not easier said than done.
Of
You get what I
course,
mean?
of
Of
course.
course, I have friends who are big sized and like lost weight. It's the determination. You get what I mean?
Mhm.
But at the same time, maybe I call it VD lah. It's already written in my forehead that Bas, say you forever be like that. For all it could be that. But to me, when people ask me these kind of questions, I'll just laugh it out, because honestly, if you ask me, I really have no answer for you. I really do not have an answer. But and also I do not want it to escalate to feeling offended, or maybe that person feels offended for what I answer to that person. So I'll just laugh it off, or just brush the question off usually on every.
Recently there has been this whole spectrum of plus size models coming, and Ashley Graham, and there's so many people who are plus size right now, who are on magazines and things like that. There's this whole new trend going on. When that started happening, how did you feel about it?
Honestly, all these, okay, I understand where you are coming from, but this plus size models and all that, it's funny how in our own country we do not have, we may have, but it's not to their extent, because all this is happening out of our out of our country, you see.
Mm, mm,
Like, I always see, how people look up to this plus size model, how they support this plus size model, and how some plus size people can just walk out in a bikini without being judged.
mm, mm.
But if we were to do that in our country, in our place right now, girl, it will be bad. It will be all over the news, probably I'll be stormed for all you know.
Uh,
So sometimes there are days where I just feel like maybe I should be in that country, maybe I should just be, not saying that I want to be in a bikini. Of course, I will never want to be in a
mm,
bikini, but like, just to be free with what I want to wear without having to think of people judging me, you see. Sometimes when I want to wear something, I really have to think two, 3 times, Like sometimes I'll just be like, okay, if I were to wear this, is it appropriate? Will people judge me? Which is why sometimes I do not like taking the public transport.
mm,
I'll just go Grab and come back Grab wherever I go. Because I
mm,
just do not like the eyes of people looking at me. Even though I dress for myself, but I cannot handle people looking at me. Sometimes I just want to pick up a fight with them if they want to look at me like that.
mm, mm.
So, which is why sometimes I really envy those plus size models who are not in our country. Like, look at them, look at how they are living. They do have naysayers, but maybe I don't know. I just feel envy. I envy those people there.
But
Yeah.
do they inspire you? Like, okay, it's okay to be plus size. It's fine. I
They
don't
do.
have to become model thin.
They do inspire me to a certain extent, but I still get paranoid.
Mm,
They do inspire me when in terms of how they dress up, how they present themselves. Of course, I'm very inspired when they dress up to a certain, in a certain manner, but I always take a step back when it comes to me trying to do it. I'm just worried. It's just still in me. Like, it's like instilled in my brain that, if I were to do that, people are gonna, look at me in a certain way. So I cannot deal with that. Yeah.
okay. I started feeling that the trend is amazing, and then there are people like, there's this thing. Feminism started with people just wanting to have woman empowerment, women to have rights, and then it was people who had their own agendas infiltrated it and made it into something totally different.
Yeah.
The same thing with plus size models is that it was all about embracing yourself, body acceptance, and then a couple of bad apples came in, and it's all about, hey, you can eat whatever the hell you want, you don't have to exercise at all, just be whatever shape that you are in. And so it became big, beautiful. It went from big, beautiful, healthy to big, beautiful, unhealthy. So
Mm.
that was being glorified. So that I had a problem against that, where being fit is now the bad word. It's like when someone tells you that let's go to the gym or let's exercise, it's like, no, I don't need to go to the exercise, I'll do whatever shape I want. So people are being shamed. So what is
Mm.
your opinion about that?
Honestly, because okay, the thing is, I do not. I honestly, I don't judge if you want to be fit or if you want to remain the way you are. Because I've dated guys who are really gym freaks. I've
Mm,
dated that kind of people, and I've also dated those who are just like laid back, relax, those lepak kind of people. So um I do not, I, like you said, you can have two opinions in one brain.
mm, mm,
So to me, when it comes to being fit, it's for your own self. And also, if you don't want to be fit, you just want to be like that, it's also your own choice, you see. So if you were to ask me this, I would really say I'm okay. I really have no opinion because I look up to some people who are gym freaks also. Like, I look at them, I'm like, wow, you guys can really do this, man. Like, I'm just like in awe. Like, wow, really? Like, when I see you sweat, I'm like, okay. Like, because I do not like to sweat. you
Okay.
know. So
Yeah.
when I see people sweat, I'm like, wouldn't it be nice if I can sweat? Like if I were to be okay with sweating. Like I sweat in general, but I do not like to sweat. But when I
Okay.
see people being okay, being sweaty and all that, I'm like, yeah. So I'm okay. Like I still look up to these people. I have friends who go Zumba classes and all that. So I'm okay. Like to me, it's you wanna be fit, you wanna maintain. It's good. Like if you don't want, also it's good. So either way, it works both ways to me. So long as you know how to take care of yourself, that's my mentality. So when people right now, like which brings back to this topic, where in terms of when people body shame me right now, to me is so long as I know what I'm doing, and so long as I know that I can still take care of myself, then by God's grace, even though it still bugs me that people, still look at me this way, look at me that way, but to the hell, that kind of thing. Yeah.
And now you are an adult, but when you look at younger kids, younger than you people, not really kids but just younger people, um, and they are being body shamed, or just shamed for whatever their eating style, their exercising, whatever it is, right? Because of social media, we all have become a little more judgmental on everything.
Mhm.
We all seem to be also be experts in everything, even though we are not. So when you, as a someone who went through body shaming since young, what would you say to people who want to leave comments like, you should exercise more on someone's profile picture?
I think to me is we don't live for people, we live for ourselves. That's one, I would say, a motto, which sometimes contradicts to how I feel, because it still affects me, even though I want to put it to myself that no, you're living for yourself, like you live your life, but it still contradicts at the end of the day when I still face this kind of thing. So sometimes when I see people younger than me being body shamed, I get so angry. I just
Mm.
feel like punching that person's face right in front, like wow, I really cannot take it when people were to body shame someone right in front of me. And if I know that person, I'll be like, do you need a tight slap now? Sometimes it just runs through my head. Like it's not nice. It's really not nice,
Mm.
because there was once where it's not the child was telling the dad, the dad was telling the child that, hey, look at that girl, she's so big. He was talking in Chinese, and happened to be, I understand Chinese.
Mm.
I understand Chinese to a certain level. So the dad was telling the child in the interchange, this one was near my place. The interchange, he was telling the girl like, hey, look at that girl, she's so fat. Don't be like her when you grow up.
Oh my
In
goodness.
Chinese.
Oh my
And I
goodness.
was beside that girl, because he was not soft, he was loud.
Mm.
He thought that I don't understand Chinese.
But
So
he's talking about you.
yes, because I was just beside that girl.
Okay.
So sometimes it's also, I would say it's also our fault as adults. Sometimes we also, like, it could be just a joke, but when we educate the younger ones, we'll be like, that's bad. It's also bad, because the younger ones are learning from us. So if you were to educate your daughter like that, your daughter will grow up body shaming everyone around her. That's bad, you see. So to me, when I see people like that, I will definitely stand up for my rights. And even if there is someone else that's being body shamed, I really hope, like, they do not try to fit in. Just don't try to fit in with people, because in secondary school, I tried to fit in,
Mm.
and it went bad. It wasn't nice when I tried to fit in. So end up, I tried to just come out of my shell. I'll just say, you know what? Let me just be me and see what happens. And good enough. Like, the outcome was positive
Mm.
when I just became myself, not trying to fit in.
Mm.
So
And
that will
so,
be that advice.
and what do you would you say to someone who would write a comment like, You look great if you lost a couple of kgs. What would you say to a person like that who leaves a comment on that on your profile?
dot dot dot. Just reply full stop. I'm like, I know you are entitled to comment. You know, I know social media, you're entitled to comment what you want, but I'm also entitled to just reply a full stop to you, because I'm like, bro, or sis, just stop it. Like, I know. Thank you. I know that, but no, just don't. You know?
Mm,
Yeah, I'll just reply. Sometimes I just don't reply. Sometimes I'll just like, because
okay.
you need to acknowledge that comment, right? But I'll just like, I wouldn't comment on it, because like I said, whatever people say is their choice, and whatever I want to hear is my choice. But it contradicts sometimes, that's all. It's like a phase, like I would say, like a passing cloud. There are days where I'm just very confident and I heck care with what people say, but there are also days where I'll just be like, hush, then you bug me, like I feel like I'm eating myself up. Yeah.